Liverpool defeat Everton 2-1 in the Merseyside Derby to go 5 wins for 5 so far this Premier League season. But look, guys, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think Liverpool have looked really convincing in any of the games they've played. Like, genuinely. Against Bournemouth, we saw their defensive weaknesses come into play. Bournemouth exploited that, especially obviously Semenyo. And then against Newcastle, Newcastle at their home ground is a tough place to go. But for a lot of that game, it looked like Newcastle were going to get something out of the game, at least a point. And then obviously we know what happened. Rio Gamoa pops up in the God knows what minute, 97th maybe, and wins the game for Liverpool. Next game, Arsenal. Cagey affair. Obviously, it was always going to be first and second. We all knew that these two were going to be the ones that were fighting for the title. Liverpool came out on top in the end, but because of a moment of magic, they didn't really create that many chances. I think Arsenal probably created more. But still, it was a tough one. Burnley, 1-0 last minute penalty from a Burnley mistake. Bro, that was honestly... Liverpool could not create any chances that game. Anything they put in the box was getting headed away, cleared. Burnley were never going to score, but Liverpool genuinely didn't look like scoring either until the penalty. And then today, where after that first half, I was thinking, honestly, it could get ugly for Everton here because Liverpool were in control. Ekitike was flowing. Szoboszlai, Gravenberch were flowing. Salah, I don't think, had a great game. He's not really had a good game since the start of the season, but yeah, he gets an assist today, so he always does contribute in some way. But it wasn't his best game. But like I said, Ekitike had a top game. Gravenberch especially had a really good game in that first half especially. And Kerkez, I think, was really good. Bradley, I think, was good. At half-time, I was thinking, wow, when they bring on these guys, Isak and Wirtz, it could get really ugly for Everton. It could be 3, 4, 5. Honestly, I thought Liverpool were going to have a field day. But let me tell you, it's far from that. That second half was Everton's half. That first half, I'm gonna just speak about the first half briefly. But the first half was sort of a repetition of the whole game of Liverpool-Burnley. Just Liverpool were actually taking their chances. Ekitike put it away one-on-one, clinical. And the first goal was what was it? It was the Gravenberch finish, which was an absolutely brilliant finish, catching Pickford off guard. But at the back is where they were really solid. Just like against Burnley, every time Burnley tried to go on some counter-attack, Konate, Van Dijk stopped it in its tracks. It didn't even have to get to Alisson. And it was the same with this first half. Everton, anytime they tried to go up, they'd get shut down. The one time they did get something to happen was when Grealish played that ball to Dewsbury Hall, and Dewsbury Hall from there should probably hit the target at least. And he hits it wide, but that was probably their best chance of the first half. And yeah, the second half begins, and for the start, it's a bit more of the same, but Everton just slowly start to creep back into the game. And Liverpool slowly start to lose the midfield battle. They start misplacing passes. Salah, Gravenberch, McAllister, these guys that I was praising in the first half, rightly so, started, looking off the pace. And players like Gana Gueye, the Everton players, Dewsbury Hall, Grealish, who had an absolutely brilliant game, might I say, Grealish. Without goal contribution, he was still amazing today. They started to really get into the game. So Liverpool dropped off a lot in that second half, or started to drop off a lot in that second half, slowly but surely. And Everton did the opposite. And they took advantage of that. They got the goal, which was from a Grealish cross to NDI. NDI also had a brilliant game, in my opinion. What a player he is, man. Just such a good dribbler. And NDI just unselfishly cushions it for Gana Gueye, who, by the way, just slaps it top bins. What a brilliant finish from the oldest player on the pitch, 35 years old. Honestly, every time I watch Everton and I see this guy playing, I completely remember who he is. Because I always feel like he's one of those guys who played in 18, 19 and hasn't been in the Prem since and has retired. But I'm like, what? Is this the same Gana Gueye here? But it is, bro. And he still has that quality that he had in 2018-19, in 2020. Bro, he's still an absolute general in midfield. And yeah, that goal was a beauty. And then from then on, you'd expect Liverpool to react. They did sort of. They brought on Wirtz. They brought on... Who else did they bring on? They brought on Isak a bit later. They did a double sub, though. They brought on Wirtz and who else? I'm not going to lie, I forgot the other substitute that they brought on alongside Wirtz. But they brought on Wirtz and Isak, who were... I was thinking, and everyone was probably thinking on the ground, they were going to be the difference makers. They were going to kill the game off for Liverpool. No. Every time Liverpool got into attack, it was the opposite. Everton would shut them down. And look, obviously Everton don't have the same quality at the back. They don't have the Van Dijks. They don't have the Konates. But may I say, Tarkowski in particular, Mikolenko as well. All these guys were good, but Tarkowski, the amount of challenges he was putting in, last ditch, headers, clearances, he was even going up as well. The guy was absolutely on it in that second half, bro. And it's so good to see players like Tarkowski, who have just had such good longevity in the league, just still have it in them. So I just had to change scenery real quick. But yeah, no, Tarkowski, bro, putting in some magnificent tackles. That one on Wirtz in particular, where I think Salah sets him up and he's in just a perfect position to shoot first time. Decides to take the touch. And it was a good touch. I mean, he sends, I think, Michael Keane absolutely flying. It bobbles a little bit, which gives Tarkowski a better chance to get the ball, but still, the challenge had to be top quality, and it was. It was an absolutely brilliant challenge, and that right there really gave Everton a lot of momentum. Now, after that, I mean, Everton still kept knocking at the door. They had a few more chances, but they weren't really clinical enough to make anything happen, and the difference in quality did end up showing. Liverpool, in the end, deserved the win, in my opinion. Although, again, it's not the most convincing performance. Wirtz, again, worrying signs, just not getting involved. Benched. £130 million. And he's getting benched in his first Merseyside derby. Salah, again, putting in crosses that reach no one and go out for a goal kick. Not making runs. Or not making good enough runs. Making poor passes. And McAllister still doesn't look quite up to fitness. I think right now, what's genuinely got Liverpool the 5 wins in 5 is their defence. Or what at least has prevented them from losing a few of these games or dropping points is the defence. The Konates, the Van Dijks, the Kerkezes, even though he played badly against Burnley, Kerkez has been very good so far for me this season. And yeah, you could even throw your Conor Bradleys in there, your Allisons. It's been the defence for me, and Gravenberch as well, of course. Gravenberch has been great, Szoboszlai. That for me has been the reason. Honestly, the attack, although players like Ekitike have obviously been great, it hasn't been the most convincing for me. Although, to be fair, on the other hand, the defence has also been shaky at times. Bournemouth, Newcastle, even today. I mean, yeah, I don't really know. Liverpool genuinely, sometimes, like at times, they look incredible. They look like Prem champions, like they are. They look like they're potentially the best team in Europe, in the world. And then at other times, it's like, how is this team top? They just don't. They're so confusing. Arsenal, for me, genuinely, this is going to sound crazy, but Arsenal have looked way more convincing for me this season. Yet they've obviously got 3 less points because they lost to them. But in that game, it was very tight. Like I mentioned, every game Arsenal have won, it's looked so convincing from start to finish. Leeds, what was it, 5-0? Nottingham Forest 3-0, and what was their first game of the season, which they won? I forgot. But it was probably a convincing win with a clean sheet. They have genuinely looked so solid. Attack, defence, midfield. So honestly, I can see Liverpool starting to drop some points here and there. And Arsenal, I don't really see them dropping that many points this season at all. I genuinely don't. But yeah, this title race is going to be good. It's going to be good. I don't think either team will have it easy. And yeah, but I do think it will be between them two. I don't think there can be a Chelsea. I don't think there'll be a Man City or any Tottenham or anything like that. I think it'll be between those two teams. But the winner will really be decided by which team can find the most consistency in every single aspect of the pitch. Right now, for me, that's Arsenal. But, I mean, we'll see. Because sometimes it just comes down to results. And the result so far is that Liverpool have beat Arsenal and they're 3 points ahead of them. So as long as Liverpool don't lose, don't drop points, which is they're doing pretty well at so far, they'll be fine. But yeah, Liverpool always start like this. Or not even Liverpool. Liverpool and Arsenal, both teams always start like this. They both always start winning all their games, looking incredible at the back. You know, winning games at the last moments as well. When it looks like they're finally going to drop points, they just get it across the line. But then there's always a point in the year where things start to shift. You might get some injuries. European football might start getting heated as well. And it might all get a little bit complicated. And that's when you start dropping points in the league. And things like that. But so far, both teams have done, for me, pretty much everything right. But Liverpool today deserve the win. We'll see how Arsenal play, I think, tomorrow against, I don't even know. But they'll probably win that. I think it's against Wolves, maybe. No, not against Wolves. Wolves are playing Leeds today. Anyways, I don't even know. But yeah, Liverpool win. They're top. Thanks for watching. Comment your thoughts on the game below and like and subscribe, and I'll see you in a bit.